We have a NCAA men's basketball champion and women's basketball champion, gentlemen. Formula One just wrapped up this last weekend. Baseball is in full swing. Let's see what I did there. Let's hop into sports.
We got the NBA playoffs starting next week too, right?
NBA playoffs are starting next week.
Who cares?
I care.
That's George's sport right there, basketball.
He's our resident basketball guy. Yeah.
I like basketball too.
I like watching the playoffs. There's just so many games during the regular season that I catch them here and there, but I really tune in the playoffs. That's when I like watching.
When it comes to basketball, honestly, I'll throw myself under the bus right now. I could not tell you one team that is in the playoff. I'm going to guess.
I can't either.
I'm going to guess on some, but I couldn't tell you one team.
Just take a guess.
Lakers, Mavericks.
Nope, not the Mavericks.
Mavericks aren't in it?
Nah.
Wow.
I mean, they might. No, they won't get the play in.
See, there you go.
Because now with the play in, I would say that the last games in the regular season are pretty interesting because the play in, you got to have these 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th teams playing to get 2 teams to the playoffs. So I like that part. You know,
I enjoy that.
I enjoy that.
So enlighten me. Who's in?
The Lakers are in. The Cavaliers are in.
The
best
Celtics,
team,
the Cavaliers,
the best team in the league is the Oklahoma Thunders. That's the best team in the league.
Well, I can't pull for them.
Yeah. They made very bold moves in the past 5 years, 6 years. So, yeah, yesterday they beat the Lakers by over 20 points because of the referees. They took Luka. Luka is playing for the Lakers now.
I know that.
Yeah.
Who
Was that? Yeah, great. Yeah. So the game was really tight. At 4 minutes, there was this guy in the provoking Luka the whole time, and then Luka answered back. The referee thought it was for him, and then he's got his second technical. The game Lakers were 1 point ahead. In 4 minutes, the Oklahoma scored 24 points, and they won the game by 20 points.
Did the Lakers not even come back out, or what?
In the game, I mean, or
yeah, I mean, how they scored 24 points in like 2 minutes?
In 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
4.5 minutes. Yeah, the Oklahoma, right? So they won by 20 points.
I know enough about basketball. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So those are the current standings. I do have to say the biggest shocker and surprise to me, the biggest franchise turnaround is the Houston Rockets. Last year, they were the worst team or second worst team in the NBA, and now they have completely turned their season around.
In the playoffs?
They're in the playoffs, and they're actually number 2
seed.
They tanked last year. They got a fantastic three-pointer shooter, in the draft, and the coach is probably top 3 coaches in the league. So that's why they are where they are.
Well, then let's go Houston. I'm riding them. It's a Texas team.
Yeah, no, they're really stepping it up. It's been fun to watch them play.
The Golden State also, after Butler moved from Miami Heat, I think Golden State is 20 wins, 4 losses when he and Curry play, when both play. So they are pretty good. They are, and don't forget, there is this thing called the Jimmy Butler's playoff.
Playoffs,
Playoff, yeah. So
as time goes on too, like I just become more and more of a Steph Curry fan. I'd like to see him win another one.
I can't stop talking about Curry and Jokic. Jokic is breaking all their records, but you see that at the last minute, I don't know if you know that, but Malone, which is the Nuggets coach, was fired, and the GM was fired. They haven't been talking for like 3 weeks. The board tried to make them work. They both didn't budge. So just walk away. Yeah, they part ways.
Interesting.
3 games.
I was going to say at this late of the stage of the playoffs, that is a very bold.
You have to stop.
Of course we did. It's a very bold strategy. Let's see how that works, Cotton.
Yeah.
Catch that reference? Okay. Dodgeball.
Yeah, dodgeball.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
The 5Ds.
I'll tell
Yeah.
you, nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Dodge, dive. Deep.
Dip,
Duck.
dodge.
And dive.
Yeah.
The fifth one is like the same.
As Formula One goes, it was a very boring race.
Yeah, it sucked.
No much overtaking, a narrow straight, huge cars. I'm glad Formula One's going back into shorter, size cars, like a smaller size cars. And Japan is a nice track,
It is a nice track.
but it doesn't really give you a lot of opportunities for overtaking, and it was a really, really boring race. But having said that, Max Verstappen, even though going against my liking, he is an awesome driver. Awesome. Man, it's incredible what he can take from the car more than the car can give. Unbelievable. You don't see that very often in a racing driver.
Sure.
We've seen it like 4 times in the history of the sport.
So who was it that took the podium at Japan? Who number 1, 2, and 3?
Verstappen won, then Lando, and then
Lando Norris and Piastri.
Piastri on the
Gotcha.
podium. It was the same way they qualified. And then this upcoming weekend, it's back-to-back. They'll be in Bahrain.
Cool.
But McLaren has the dominant car, and still Verstappen beat them. Unbelievable. Incredible. Baseball.
What
Baseball.
about baseball, baby?
Man, baseball
I'm
has
not-
been.
I'm not wearing my Ranger hat for nothing, baby.
Man, they've been on a tear. They're
Right.
looking pretty
The
good.
Rangers are on fire.
Yeah.
How are the
So-
Padres?
I'm going to put it out right now.
I thought you were talking about sports.
Early.
I love how straight faced he was too with that.
He was just waiting for that moment.
Straight back to
Hey,
you,
You
Paul.
want to talk about
Hey.
basketball?
That's
Hey.
entertainment.
Let
That's
me-
different. I love it.
No,
I love it as entertainment.
Hey, you
like
say that.
drinking.
Let me tell you
It's
my,
not that
let-
entertaining.
Let me tell you my little spit on that. Here we go. All right? Sports. Baseball is number 1, and here's why. Basketball, football, soccer. You can run around all day with the ball, dribble, kneel down, go in circles, and do whatever you want to do because there's a clock on the wall, and as long as that clock goes to 4 zeros, game's over. That shit don't exist in baseball, baby. You've got to face the pitch, and you've got to hit the ball or walk or strike out. That is a sport.
That is true.
It
One of the
happens
only
with
sports.
speeding.
There is
Speeding,
no-
speeding too.
There is no clock in baseball other than that 20-second pitch clock. You
That's
have
true.
to take the pitch.
That's the best thing they've added to the game in a long
No, I
time.
love the pitch clock, but I mean, don't get me wrong. I love what you're saying. It's fun. I'm all sports are sports, and don't get me wrong. But I've always said if there was, I was asked this question probably 15, 20 years ago from an old friend of mine. Every sport in the world goes away, and you're left with one sport to play. What is it? My answer is baseball.
Yeah.
Because it's a sport, and it's up to every individual person on that team to win the game. It's a team sport.
It is a team sport. And Paul, I have to say, my son. So last year they were the Round Rock Padres. This year they're the Round Rock Astros. And my son has been continuing his third base.
Nice.
And now they're having him pitch. And I tell you what,
Oh, nice.
he's got an arm on him, man.
Does he?
I've been really.
Does he have anything other than a fastball? Has he got some pitches?
He can do a sinker. He can do a sinker and a fastball, but I mean, at 9 years old, I'm not expecting too much out of him. But even my dad and I were out practicing the other day. It was a beautiful day. I took him to the ballpark, ball field at Old Settlers, and just throwing gas, man. And I'm going, God damn. Some of them it was hurting. My hand is sore from playing with him.
No, George, I grew up, man. Basketball and soccer, way too much damn running, brother, man. Baseball and football, you stop running every now and then.
Yeah.
That's my kind of sport.
Yeah.
And golf, you just walk or ride a cart, man.
What about cricket?
What about it? I squish them all day long.
It doesn't. Also, I mean, some games go for 3 days.
That is true. Cricket is a very long sport.
I know nothing about cricket.
Yeah, I think we're gonna show our true Texan here. Is like I don't know much about cricket at all, other than it's real big.
What about the
not here.
heritage of you guys from England?
What
So
about washers? Cornhole. I mean, those are sports, aren't they?
Those are
How
very
about
fun
rugby?
sports.
Now
My-
we're talking. Let's go.
My
love
favorite
rugby.
memory of my heritage with England is
Loved it.
whenever we threw all the tea in the harbor.
Give me an ear protection and a ball. Let's hit some shit out of people. Let's go.
But no, but the baseball season is really kicking off. My Padres, they've only lost 3 games so far. They're 7-3. They're leading the division over the Dodgers and the Giants.
Rangers are leading the division.
The Rangers are leading the division.
They won again today.
Yes, they did. So baseball it's a lot of fun this year.
How often do you get to go to Ranger games?
I went to the opening day game. I'm going again May 30th. I might try and squeeze another one in. Not as much because, I live 3 hours south of the stadium. But,
Yeah.
man, I love to go as much. I watch it all I can. I'm actually leaving in the morning, the level below NCAA baseball. But I'm a baseball freak, man. I love it.
So switching gears to another sport, this last weekend I took myself and my family to our first MLS game, or their first MLS game, and
Yes.
saw the Austin FC.
I did see the photos. Yeah.
How was it?
And so
I went for my first time about 2 weeks ago.
and
all right.
I liked it. It was fun. It was cool. But I'll be damned I'm going to sit down in that section that throws beer all over everybody.
oh yeah, no.
Not that I don't want beer on me. I'm just not going to waste my beer and throw it on you.
But it's a cool environment. It's a cool
It was.
stadium.
It was
the
cool.
atmosphere.
Yeah.
I know zilch about soccer other than you score if the ball goes in the net. Yes, I'm not a dumbass. I know that part. But I did learn a few things while I was there. I didn't know what a yellow flag was versus a red flag. I didn't
It's a
know
card.
that. I understand that. I
not a
didn't know what offsides was, but now I've learned that when you're kicking the ball, the offensive guy cannot be beyond the defensive guy until the ball is kicked. Once it's kicked, you can be where you want to be. I did not know those rules.
Close
And so
enough.
Close enough.
It's
Yeah.
pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean?
Well,
What do you mean close enough? It's either black or white. Is it offside or not?
It is what it
it's
is.
Not,
It is what
it's,
it is.
Yeah.
Unless the referee is being bought.
Yeah, well.
But I tell you
Yeah,
what,
but they use VAR now, don't they? I mean, I guess I don't know
yeah.
for Austin
I-
FC, but across
they do.
Okay, so,
MLS
so
they
if
do.
that's close enough, please enlighten me on
No,
what
no.
is offsides.
No. I was just saying that there are levels to that,
the
like
intricacies.
the intricate, just like in American sport, in American football, certain plays, require some complexities. For example, if the goalkeeper is off the ball, it's behind the ball right? So I can still have another player. But if I have two players, it's not
Offside.
an
Offside.
offside. So
It's kind of like the onside kick. You can only do it on special occasions type
Well,
of
there's
thing.
that.
Your,
but
your
the-
understanding of it was right, though.
But the
yeah,
one,
yeah.
but the one rule that you need to change when you play soccer in America, when the player is out of bounds, you can't kick the damn ball. You got to be in bounds to play the game around here,
Yes.
my man. Baseball,
the
in
ball.
bounds. Football, in bounds. Soccer, I can be where I want to as long as the ball's across the line. Bullshit. Get in bounds.
I like that about it because it's something different.
It
Look,
is.
it's
It's
so
different.
hard to
Yeah.
change the rules because many American sports are like, you can basically every year you have small changes and some years you have big changes. But in soccer, to change a rule, you need to have the votes. And
Right.
guess what? Scotland, Ireland, and England, together they have more votes than the whole world.
They'll never waver.
Exactly.
But my hat's off to them, man. They're very good athletes. They run a lot. They probably
Yeah.
ran more in one game than I've ran in 10 years.
15 kilometers, like we're about 10 miles.
Talking. Oh, there we
About 10 miles a
Act-
game. Yeah.
But I want to
Talking
say,
American.
I want to say, I'm not flipping the cameras here because it's a good conversation. That's actually the very first time that I saw somebody making a comment on a specific
Technicality.
technicality of what soccer is about. The ball has to be in play.
Right.
The sports that we see over here, is the player has to be in play. That's what you mean, right? So you can be out of the field, but if the ball is in and then you have your foot in there, you can still play the ball because
so
the
I'm
ball
sitting
is
there
in play.
So I've never been to a soccer game in my life ever, period, until 2 or 3 weeks ago.
That's awesome. That's a good observation because
when I went, I'm like, wait a minute. How is that ball still playable? Because that son of a gun, both his feet were beyond the line, and he's kicking the ball. And I'm American. I play football, baseball, that kind of stuff. Even in basketball, correct me if I'm wrong. In basketball, if your foot's on the line, you're out of bounds, right?
No, but hold on. Basketball, if you are jumping over, you can still play the ball and the player.
And with the ball, if your feet is not on the floor, you can throw the ball.
If your foot is on the line in basketball or beyond, you are out of bounds, correct?
Yes, correct.
But in basketball, if the ball is, let's say the ball is 3 feet over the line, the player jumped over the line from the inside of the field. So the player is out bounds as well.
Sure.
But he's on air. He can still play the ball.
That's the same thing as in football when you're standing on the half-yard line and you jump up and throw the punt back in the field of play, and another player grabs the ball and down on the one
to save a touchback.
Right. That's the same thing there.
But that's what I'm saying. It's the men's foot position, like standing on the ground, and soccer is about the ball being
the ball.
If the ball goes out, if the ball doesn't need to be on the ground, if the ball is out within the line and on air, the ball is out.
Now what's out for soccer? Does the ball have to touch the line or be completely out of bounds before
it has to be completely out?
It has to be
out.
out.
A great example of that is the World Cup series. Japan scored, and let's say this is so the goal would be here.
Yeah, that's an amazing example.
Net, and here's the line of out of bounds. The ball came all the way to where just like a hair of it was still in bounds, and he kicked it back in, and they scored a goal.
Not only that, but 12 cameras. If you look at the play from 12 different cameras, 11 angles, you would believe the ball was out.
Yep.
But that camera that was the closest showed that actually in the air, was, so the air part was in, so the play, the goal was allowed. So
make it a lot easier if you made the guy stay in bounds.
In real time, watching that, I would have bet money that was going to get called back, and it didn't. But in real time, I was like, "There's no." It was just that close. It looked out, but that's a great example of that rule.
It's the ball. It's the ball and the line.
With the VAR, with the VAR. That's my beef. It doesn't matter because now that the cameras are so much better that you can actually do like half a centimeter, half an inch, a third of an inch, and then it's out.
But gentlemen, I do have to say, I think we need to go. If we can all get tickets and go, it's a lot of fun. I know.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
I know, George, you would absolutely love it.
I'd like to go to a hockey game with all you too. I'd love to go to a.
We haven't spoken about hockey.
Hockey.
I love it.
Hockey playoffs are starting as well.
Hockey is awesome. I like hockey.
Hockey's fun.
Yeah,
I love hockey.
Just
I like
sit
the
on
fights.
front row and put a beer on the wall.
I just like going in. It's real cold in there from the eyes. Drink some beer. The crowd gets rowdy. Everyone's waiting for a fight to happen.
My primal,
It's a
like
gritty
primal.
sport.
So I actually went to, I think I told you guys how I went to a hockey game a couple months ago. I got some tickets for it.
The Stars?
The Stars. The Stars, yeah, the Texas Stars right over here. And, I mean, they got shut out. It was like 7-3. And in the first period, they were already down 4-1. But the first 10 seconds of that, they took their gloves off and just started fighting. And, I mean, I had my son and my dad there, and we're like, yes, this is awesome. Like, keep it going.
Did you say
Primal.
they went to go to the restroom or to get food or something? They came back. There had been like 3 goals scored or something.
Yeah, it was.
That doesn't happen a lot.
It was a
Let me see-
crazy game.
Let me see what I can do, man. We'll get some tickets and go to the hockey game.
Hell yeah.
That'd be cool. I'd love to.
Cool.
I got a couple connections on that side.
Good.
Nice.
Good.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
I got a question. What's everybody think about this odd-sized bat the Yankees are using?
We talked about it last week, the torpedo bat.
Oh, yes, I
Torpedo
was
bat.
not here.
You
That's
were not
going to be
here.
a new league standard at some point, I think.
That's
That's my prediction.
Is that the weight distribution of the?
That's exactly what that is. It's a weight
The bat?
distribution on the bat, so you get a better trajectory on the ball on how you hit the ball. And I got opinions on it, but
And I was just gonna say, I don't know about your opinion of it, but I mean, the Yankees aren't the number one team in the league.
they're not the number one team in the league, and so let them try and find a way to get to the number one team. If it takes a different kind of bat, my question is, what was wrong with the old bats they had? 'Cause they used to be a good baseball team and hit the ball.
Exactly.
Well, I just didn't even realize until all that news came out that you could come out with a different bat than everybody else either. It's like I'm trying to relate that to another sport, but it's like on offense in football, imagine you have a different shaped football because that's the one that you like.
Right.
That just doesn't happen. So the fact that
Right.
it's allowed is interesting. But if they find success, I think other teams will adopt it if it's that powerful, if it's that much better.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
Tom Brady
absolutely.
wanted a different ball when he was playing. So
Well, he got one. They deflated it.
Yeah, I mean, you said it right, Dylan. I mean, the Yankees are the ones using it. Everybody's complaining about it, but at the end of the day, if it's working and they're hitting good balls with it, and it's a legal bat that the MLB will let them play, then why can't the other teams take it up?
They probably will if it is dominant.
Right.
But time will tell.
But I think that is like a racket sport because
True.
a racket sport like tennis and squash and paddle and
Squash, that's a veggie we eat, brother.
pickleball.
It's a pretty good veggie, too.
Yeah, and some rackets have more weight and to the tip of to the front, right? So it gives you more power but less control. So balance weight or lightweight, it gives you a lot of control, and so you have to have power in your shoulder and your hips to be able to hit it, right? So that is. So I don't think it would be, because I think the bat is something considered like it's an instrument that you hit it with.
Yeah, I just would assume, I made the assumption that a league as big as the MLB, like there would be a regulation. This is the design of the bat
Right.
that everyone has to use. Clearly, that's not the case, but
I
that's
mean,
my own naivety.
That's my thing. Is there's a regulation? What can you have? What can't you have? There's rules you got to follow. But I guess as long as
They're painting inside the lines.
the league allows it to be used, then it passed their standards and you can use it. But that
good,
rule
yeah.
goes back to, I don't know if you, like you said, football probably doesn't have it, but NASCAR does for sure on all their specs on their cars.
Yeah.
And then look at golf. I mean, we're talking Masters this week, right? Speaking of golf, the Super Bowl of golf this week. But,
Yep.
You're right.
but within the game of golf, I mean, I play a lot of golf. There's different clubs, different trajectories of the heads, different weights you can put in your drivers, different things here and there, but they're all still legal and allowed to use within the game of golf. Not every player on that course is using the same 7-iron, 8-iron driver. They all have different options of clubs.
That's
and
what I'm saying.
things to play
Yeah.
with.
It's the balance. It's like a car. NASCAR is like, you can have a front end car, you can have a rear end car.
Or F1.
Yeah,
Could be pointy. I mean, they can do.
yeah. It's the balance
But you
of
gotta
the
stay
instrument
within the
that you
realm.
have.
But
Yeah.
my question, you've got the Yankees doing it. Every other team has identical bats. Because that's not similar. Because golf, there's so many different. Everybody's got something different, basically.
I'll be damned if my Rangers follow what the Yankees do.
Well, and I don't want to say it was a fluke, but I mean the first two games they did play a far weaker team where they were hitting bombs out of the park, and it was like, okay, they're attributing it to the torpedo bat.
That's a perfect time to debut the bat.
Exactly, but that's the thing, and they got attention for it. But then now the Yankees are just falling back into regular, like they're not blowing out games consistently.
Well, like you said, let's look right here. All right, the New York
George?
Yankees. They are where are they at? The Yankees. They are 7-5.
So they've lost 5 games already.
I mean,
Yeah.
the Rangers are 9-4. The Angels are
Remind me how many
7-3.
games there are.
I don't know
there's a
about
lot.
that, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Look.
I wouldn't read into it too much now.
Look,
exactly.
Let's
Let's
come
see
back in a month or two.
Let's see
Have-
where they are in October.
Have you watched the movie?
Well, yeah, many months.
Have you watched the movie The Imitation Game?
Yep.
Right. So they might be using the Imitation Game, in there. Like, oh, I could have won the 12 games, but if I do that, everybody's gonna start talking about that. But you know what? What I would say is that teams are always looking for an edge, right? So teams are all
Yes,
looking
you
for,
have
you
to.
know,
You have to.
you gotta look for something, Like I had
That's the
this,
competitive drive.
I have the discussion on Tuesday. Real Madrid's goalkeeper, he's 6'7" or 6'8". He's really tall. For me, the best goalkeeper ever. You know, Courtois, a French. And so he's so big. Now he's 35 years old, and his knees, like, man, he can't, you know, he's getting injured very often. So he's the best because he's big, he's flexible, you know. So, but because of his knee, he's 1 centimeter short, you know, like when he jumps, he's like a quarter of a second slower, and then he suffered 2 goals with falls, with free kicks. And then I was talking to a friend, right? So he mentions, yeah, this is the thing in the sport. It's a slight, tiny difference is what defines if you win or if you don't. Do you remember Ian Thorpe in Australia? He was wearing this shark kind of a suit, and he was swimming.
The full body suit, like
exactly. So he was banned, you know, because he was swimming, breaking all the records.
Faster, yes.
Do you want to know another sport that is common now? New shoes that they don't even count as record when you run with those special kind of shoes, because it kind of bounce your body. So your pace is actually 20% amplified, 20% faster and higher and longer. So it's been there in many sports. It's just that we can't remember how it happens, you know. Even in sports we know.
You do, George. You do remember.
Yeah, I just remember a couple of them.
You know everything about sports. Come on.
No, not everything. Just some sports. The ones I like it.
Just some, like all of them.
Yeah, that's it. So that's you know, necessity is the mother invention. You know, so if a team is doing badly, if someone has, you know, corner in their necks, for sure they would try something different, because you know what, why not, you know? Hail Marys.
That's the Hail Mary they're starting out with this season. The fat bat.
The fat bat.
The fat back.
Well,
The fat bat.
think that does it for sports.
It does.
Thank you very much for tuning
Awesome. Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the channel, please.
Yeah. And like it, please.
Comment.
Share with a friend.
Gigamanky baseball.
Yeah. Hook 'em.
Look at that. We're gonna have a little competition
It's a
here,
little
you know.
pinky.
And we haven't talked about how
Texans
Houston
and-
lost the madness, March Madness, you know, like
We'll see you
it
guys
lasts
next
very
week.
second. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we done?